Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is Pastor Shirley Hood of Reflections TV. I am your host today to bring a special edition of this show to bring awareness of breast cancer. A lot of women need to be informed of breast cancer. And if they are informed, early detection will prevent or even cancer spreading. So on this special edition of Reflections TV, I have a special guest from the Gloria Gemma Foundation. And she's going to talk to us about raising awareness against this horrific disease. So on today, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Maureen DiPeiro. Maureen, thank you so much for being on this episode of Reflections TV. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about, breast cancer and how we need to be informed on today. Tell us a little bit about what you do at the foundation.
So I am the Community Outreach and Education Manager. I spend most of my time pre-COVID on our 38-foot pink RV called the Hope Bus, and we travel throughout the community educating women, particularly in the areas where there isn't equity in health care or in low-income areas where they're not getting the information. So we work with organizations and schools, churches, and any other institutions in those neighborhoods, but we also bring it to other places as well. Wherever we can bring it, wherever we get invited, we usually say yes, because we know that it's such an important issue and that women need to know what to look for and how to get screened.
So Maureen, tell us, I know you've been working at Gloria Gemma's Foundation. Tell us about the mission of Gloria Foundation. Tell us about that. So
the mission starts with before someone gets breast cancer through our education and outreach, where we are educating people. And then it moves to, from the point of diagnosis, someone can call you. We have a patient and survivor navigator, Mandy, who can help guide you, help connect you with people who maybe have had to make the same decisions and you don't quite understand it. We provide resources, classes in nutrition, classes in health, restorative yoga classes, mind, body, spirit programs. That's everything we do is free. We have our program, Gloria's Angels, which provides comfort care bags at point of diagnosis to patients who are newly diagnosed at participating cancer centers. We also have a healthy meals program where we do healthy meals deliveries once a month to families who are going through cancer. And the meals are pretty much custom made because they get to tell us their likes and dislikes along with allergies. And it's 4 meals a month for everyone in the household. It's not just for the person who's sick. And that's probably one of our biggest programs. We also have programs designed for women with metastatic breast cancer, which is cancer that has spread to other organs, the liver, lungs, brain, bones. And so they have different issues to deal with, obviously. Metastatic patients are usually on treatment for the rest of their lives, and there's a lot of fears and a lot of hurdles for them, and so we guide them. We will have a half retreat day with them. We'll have a spa day for them. We also have a young survivors group because 17% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer are under the age of 44.
So why is it so important for women? Because, like I told you before, I find this information and all information that I've had done in the past years, why is it so important for women to be aware of breast cancer? Why?
it's important because if you do have it, the sooner you find it, the more easily treated it is. So, we use the term stages 1 through 4. If you're found at stage 1, which means the cancer is just in that one location and it's not moved elsewhere, we can take care of it a lot more easily than if the cancer has spread, and as in a stage 4, where it's going to other organs. For instance, it may go to the liver. So now you're trying to treat cancer in the breast as well as cancer in the liver. So it's really important. And for us, it's really important for everyone to be aware of risk factors, everyone to know how to get screened, but in particular for women of color, because we know Black women, when they are diagnosed, we don't know why, but they're diagnosed with a more aggressive form of breast cancer called triple negative. So it's even more important for them to get screened and to see their doctor annually, because they have a higher death rate because of having that aggressive breast cancer.
You don't want to take this lightly. That is something that I don't take lightly, especially if you have a family history, which in my case, I have a family history of siblings who had breast cancer. My sister is a 10-year survivor. We thank God for that. But the struggle with that, and I remember the time when she told me and my mother that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And all kind of thoughts came to her mind, like, oh my God, my children.
Exactly.
Oh my God, this, that, especially her children. And so she fought her way through it. It was not an easy process. But I think, and this goes to my next question, why does so many women have fear of the diagnosis? Why?
I think the reason is because we know so many people who have died from cancer, whether it's breast cancer or other cancers. And for those of us who have lost loved ones, as I have, I lost my father to cancer, and I lost 2 of my very close friends who were my soul sisters to breast cancer. And so that's, the mind seems to retain those traumas. And so when that word is said, when those words are said to you have cancer, the first thing I would guess that 99% of people think is, am I going to die? And so I think that's where the fear is. And the fear is, if I die, what's going to happen to my children? So one of my friends, her children were adults, and I was with her at hospice. And she said she was afraid, and I said, of dying, and she said, no, of what's going to happen to my children. So I think you think about all your loved ones, and we've all lost someone to some at old age, whatever it may be, and we know that pain and that loss, and I think for many of them, that's what they're thinking about.
And it was so funny. It was last year sometime, because now I have to do every 6 months. But the first time when they said, oh, we need you to come in, like, for this mammogram. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God. Like, the first thing, like you said, you think about your children, right? And then I'm thinking, oh my God. And then the nurse says, okay, once we do the exam, you'll find out.
Right.
And I'm sitting there in the waiting area. And mind you, I like how, they kind of prepare you,
Right.
and because they kind of know this thing already.
Right.
So I'm sitting there in my gown, and I'm like, okay, this could be life or possibly death for me. And then to hear the reassurance that I don't have it, but you have to keep coming back every 6 months, it was a relief. But at the same time, this thing, I said really to myself, this thing you can't take lightly.
Exactly. It's really important. In the U.S. this year, the estimate is almost 290,000 women will be diagnosed for the first time with breast cancer in the United States with invasive ductal carcinoma, which is disease that has started to grow. And an additional 40,000 will be diagnosed with carcinoma in situ, which means it's in that one space where it's starting. So that's almost 300,000 women in the United States for the first time. That doesn't include people whose cancer recurs or who develops a second cancer. So it's so important to be screened, do self-exams, see your doctor once a year. They should be checking. If they're not checking you, then you need to find a new doctor and to at least get a mammogram starting, I say, at the latest age, 40. And I always advise women of color, particularly Black women, to have a conversation about starting at 35.
Wow. You know, I hear you. I really do. And I hope that the viewers hear you in knowing how important it is to get those regular checkups, have your annual exams. Those are very vital. You want to live. Your family want to see you live. Yes, fear may creep in, but you will have the amount of support, not only from your providers, but from Gloria Gemma Foundation. That will be a great asset to you. So lastly, tell us about the Hope Bus.
Oh, I will, but before I do that, I just want to let your viewers know, if you don't have insurance or your insurance won't pay for your mammogram, Rhode Island has a program called Women's Cancer Screening Program. You can access it through Department of Health or call Gloria Gemma. We'll get you connected to them, where you can get your mammograms free of charge.
Wow.
So that's an important fact. The Hope Bus is a 38-foot pink RV, and it was donated to the foundation. And we use it to educate people, raise awareness. We also bring it to some of the cancer centers so patients can come on. We offer healing arts. And we educate people. It's a drop-in. When you come in, it's like a house. You walk into our living room, we have a fireplace going, and we have a kitchen, and we just sit and we're able to talk. And if you have someone you love that's going through it, or you're someone who has breast cancer or any cancer, you're welcome to come on the bus. Sometimes it's hard to talk to our loved ones. We don't want to burden our families if we're the person with the cancer. As family members, we're worried, and we don't want to worry the person going through the treatment. But Gloria Gemma, through its Hope Bus, and even in our center, we provide a listening ear. So you can reach out to us. Right now, the bus is, I say it's at the spa. It's getting an overhaul since it's been parked for 2 years. And it's been on the road 10 years, getting between 8,000 and 10,000 people a year on it. So it needs a little sprucing up. But hopefully it will be back on the road in April of 2023. That's our goal. In the meantime, call the center. Call Gloria Gemma Foundation, and we are there for you and to help you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much,
You're
Maureen.
so welcome.
You heard it, y'all. Please, if you want to support, volunteer, donate your time, listen, please contact Gloria Gemma Foundation and help those. And let's spread the message. Let's spread the message, and let's create an awareness of how early detection can save a woman's life. Next, we have another guest who will share her story of her survival with breast cancer. Stay tuned.
I remember getting the news.
At that moment, I thought about my son, who was at that time 8 years old.
You just have that worry inside, wondering if this is it, if this is the end of the road.
When my mother was diagnosed, it was a really difficult time. Cancer was a scary word to us, and we had a whole new system to navigate. It was difficult to find out where to get resources. The Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation was established in 2004.
The work the foundation is doing provides hope and healing and is truly helping people on their path to better health.
We make a concerted effort to reach out to low-income, uninsured, minority communities, because that's where the most need is for the education and services.
They work to ensure that people have the necessary access to screenings, resources, and health services they need related to breast cancer prevention and treatment.
As a female, you never know there was free cancer screening, and I never even knew that Gloria Gemma is the reason why there's free breast cancer screening.
2 new outreach workers here would help us to really get into the community and better serve the minority populations.
And I know from experience that if you have someone who's reaching out to you who is sensitive to your culture, who understands it, the outreach coordinator can really get through.
My doctor told me they caught it right on time. I would have had 2 years to live if they didn't catch it on time.
It's been a rough road, a lot of doubts, a lot of concerns, a lot of scares. But I'm here.
With your support of 2 outreach coordinators, we can make breast cancer more survivable in Rhode Island.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. You know, we just had a conversation with Maureen DiPeiro. Now we are going to have another conversation with our next guest. Our next guest has a great story that most women like herself had to battle, had to go through, but she came out on top and still spreading the message. A message of hope that every woman should hear and not take lightly. This is a story, this is an episode talking about breast cancer and how we need to raise awareness of the effects of having it. So my special guest today is here to tell that great story, and we're going to introduce to you Caronah Johnson. Hi, Caronah. Thank you so much for being on Reflections TV.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, Caronah, take us back to that time when you found out that you had breast cancer.
So it was August 23rd, 2011. It was at 8:15 in the morning. I was on my way going into work. It was a beautiful sunny day. I was on 95, happy, listening to music, laughing, and I got that call. The phone rang, I picked it up, and the doctor was talking to me. I didn't understand what she was saying to me. She was talking all these medical terms, and I didn't understand nothing. But all I do remember, she said, "You have breast cancer." That's the only thing that I understood at that time. So I was on 95, and I said, I'm driving to my mother's house. I need you to stay on this phone with me until I get there. Now, at this time, I'm speeding. I'm going like 85, 90. I'm going through like lights, trying to get to my mother's house. I get there, I bang at the door, and my sister opens up the door, and I say, take the phone, talk to the doctor. I run upstairs to my mother's room, and I'm crying. My mom's like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? She's like, did you get fired from work? I was like, no, I didn't get fired, Mom. I was like, I have cancer. And everybody at that moment just went numb. Went completely numb.
I could not even imagine the thought, what that might have been for you. Very sorry that you had to experience that, but I know at the end you are still here and you are still telling your story. And you know what, that's why I found it very important to raise this awareness. I was sharing with Maureen that my sister is a 10-year cancer survivor. And that moment when she found out she had it, all the thoughts in her head said, oh my God, my children. It's like that breaking point that you reach. Oh my God, my family. Was that like that for you?
That was for me. The doctor told me they caught it on time. If they didn't catch it, I would have 1 year to live. At that time, I was 32 years old. So we wasn't screaming at that time for breast cancer. We wasn't looking for breast cancer. The reason how I found out was just because I went in for a physical and my doctor told me, you know, I felt a lump on your right breast. And I said, oh, okay, I will get it checked out. I skipped my mammogram appointment. I skipped the second one. And then my doctor called me the third time and said, hey, I'm checking up on you. You're skipping your appointments. You need to go in. And I said to my doctor, come on, doctor, I'm 32. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. She's like, no, I need you to go in. So I went in to check the right breast. There was nothing there. I was like, okay, I'm good. The tech's like, no, let's just check the left side. The left side is where my breast was at, my cancer was at. On the breast that had no issues. And, you know, I knew something was wrong at that time. The way the tech, she looked and what she was doing in the room. I noticed her demeanor had changed. And then she says to me, I'm gonna send you over to another room. And she said, I want you to speak to the doctor. And I said, oh, something's wrong, because they don't put you into another room by yourself, you know. And then the doctor came in. I said, oh, you know, we see something here. We see something here. You know, we see something here. So, I mean, for me, it was very, when I just, you know, it was really, really, really stressful at that time, just to know what I was about to face, you know. So, I mean, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
I thank God for it. But, you know, you do find strength.
Wow.
For me. I knew I had a village of people that I need to still be here for.
Wow.
So I had to dig deep
Yes.
inside and just find that strength.
And that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, what motivated you to push through the process? Like you said, you mentioned strength, because a lot of us need that during this day and time. That's a hard thing to go through. So what really motivated you aside from the strength? Was it just the strength, or was it more to it?
It was also more as well. It was the family that stood behind me. You know, I'm from a family with strong women. We don't give up easy. We're very, very strong. So with something that's facing us, we're gonna face it. We're gonna take it on, and the family's gonna stand behind you and rally behind you. So at that time, my son was 11 years old, and I was like, I have to be here for this child. Like, I am going to see this child. I'm going to raise my son. So I'm going to do whatever I have to do to fight, to be here for this child. And so my son was definitely my motivation to definitely keep on going, keep on going.
Did he understood it at the time that you was going through this? Did he understood it? Did you inform him?
Yes. He's a very smart, bright child. So he's one of those kids that you have to tell him what's going on. He did. He was there through it all. He helped me, at times when I was not feeling well. He tried to, cook for me at times. He, made sure I was trying to eat right and move. Yes, he definitely understood.
Wow, that's so awesome. So the Gloria Gemma Foundation is a great support network for men and women like you in regards to your story. What have they done for you in your journey?
Oh, they have done tremendous things. Their support, they're like my second family. They are my second family. Their support, their love, they have made cancer awareness for all of us, to know that we have a place to turn to. We're not alone. Yes. They stand with you. They help you through your treatment. They help the family through counseling. through programs. They're there the whole step of the way. So that second family you automatically gain with the Gloria Gemma Cancer Foundation.
Yes.
You know.
And you know, it's so important how much you need a positive outlet, especially during those times. You know, like when my sister got diagnosed with it over 10 years ago, it was her support was us. She needed that. She needed that income support to get through this, because all she kept thinking was my children. And then you have to have that income of support, that faith of knowing that we're here to push you and to believe in that you will survive through this. And I know that was the case for you,
Yes.
would you say?
Yes, I had to. You know, I had to survive through this. You know, just hearing those words that you have cancer, and then for me, just hearing the words that you had recorded on time, because you would have had 1 year to live. Just hearing those words, you tend to change after going through treatment, because then you realize that you had a time limit. And when someone put a time limit on your life, you're like, wait a second, I can't be the same person I was yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
So now I'm going to motivate myself. Now I'm going to do what I wanted to do your whole entire life. Follow your dream, follow your passion. You know, you live life totally different. It's never the same again, you know, but it comes from an inner side, inner view, that you have to find that strength, that determination, that hope and that dream and that belief that you're going to go through this, but you're going to come up on top. And it's sometimes very hard to find, because at moments, you know, you get really, really, you know, sad, depressed, but you have to learn how to change your mind and be very positive and stay positive.
Wow, wow, wow. This is so good to hear. You do have to learn how to stay positive and stay focused, because life, we only have one. We only have one life to live, and it's so important that we stay that way, we remain that way, because now we have people that people that's looking up to us, you know, and that's the great motivation right there alone. So tell me, what is your dreams and your goals? What is your dreams and your goals? What is the outlook of your life right now?
Well, just to be happy, that's the first thing. You know, to be happy and be grateful is my first two things in life. Every day I wake up to be grateful and to be happy and just make sure my family is taken care of. You know, my personal dreams, you know, I'm a fashion designer. Wow. So, you know, just to keep on going after my passion, you know, has made, you know, what I went through much more, you know, much more stronger, that I need to make sure I do what I have to do in life, you know, complete what you need to do.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here, everyone. You heard Caronah's story. You heard the passion that she is staying positive to survive. We don't want you to take this thing very lightly. This is a serious, serious thing. We ask you all, women, please, get your annual screenings. Stay on top of your visits, so early detection can prevent. Caronah, thank you so much for sharing your story. This means so much to the viewers, and my hope is that the message continues to evolve, because that's what we want. We want a message of hope. So everyone stay tuned. We all will come back, and we will give our final thoughts about breast cancer awareness.
I was 32 years old when I was diagnosed. What makes my story, I think, unique is that I was actually 4 weeks pregnant when I found out that I was diagnosed. What's important is I'm not the only one out there that this has happened to or is going to happen to, so I want to be able to help get that message out there that yes, this can happen to you and things can have a happy ending.
When you're not so sure you'll survive.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I am back with Maureen DiPeiro and Caronah Johnson. They just have shared with us what the great work has Gloria Gemma's Foundation has done in saving the lives of so many women of having breast cancer, especially Caronah Johnson sharing her story, a survivor that can tell it all for women who are going through the struggle. So women, ladies, I'm going to ask you, what is in the works for Gloria Gemma? What are they continuing to do? What is the new thing I would say they are doing for the foundation?
So I would probably say we're developing more programs. We're developing grief programs because we have lost, unfortunately, several of our women, most of them young. And so we want to be able to continue to support their families and provide services for them as well. We're looking to expand our Healthy Meals program so that we can provide it to more families going through cancer treatments. And then we always listen to the survivors who cross our thresholds, whether it's at our center in Pawtucket or whether it's on the Hope Bus when it's on the road. We listen and we filter out the needs that people have, because we know if one or two have that need, then more women and families are out there with that need. And so we try to make it happen.
You know, it's so very important, especially if you had a family member who's been diagnosed with it. I know recently my relative just had both of them removed. But I kept in touch with her, and I found it was my duty to do that, because sometimes they need support, they need that inspiration. Although she's still here, but you don't know what they may be battling. You know, it could feel, and we don't know how they feel. You know, sometimes, you know, going through that, they could feel less of a woman because they are going through the struggle. So it's very important that these supports and services Gloria Gemma offers are so vital for women. Are there any events that Gloria Gemma are doing or are in the works of doing?
Well, we have many events. Yeah, we have many events. We have a fashion show that we do yearly. We do the 5K. We do the Flames of Hope. So we have many events throughout the year to give back to the community and have women come and, you know, and enjoy themselves. We also do yoga classes as well, fitness classes as well. So we did a lot of programs that we definitely do have, and a lot of events as well too.
Yes, and I've seen that on social media. Marianne Francesca is a great participator. In fact, she's the one that encouraged me to have you on. And it's so enlightening to see, you know, that the message is being spread all over. And this is what we need to continue to do, is to spread the message of hope. You know, we need to spread that because, like I said before, a lot of people, a lot of women don't know. They have no idea like how important it is. You know, I found it to be very important when it was time for my mammogram, something that I don't take lightly, because this is my life and I want to be able to live. And I want to be able to grow old with my children. I want to see my grandchildren. And so, you know, the thing is that it's so important. Tell us about early detection. How important early detection is.
One thing that comes to mind earlier when you and I spoke and now is that, yes, know your family history, because if there is a family history of breast cancer or ovarian cancer in a first-degree relative, meaning a mother or sister, then you are at greater risk for that. And if your father or brother has had breast cancer or prostate cancer, it raises someone's risk. But an important thing to remember is that 80% of women diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history, have no genetic mutation. And I want your listeners to know, if they don't have a family history, don't think that you won't be diagnosed with breast cancer. You possibly could be. So my family, there's no history of breast cancer, but I really hammer them to make sure they're getting screened, as I do.
Yes, yes.
So don't just think you can sit back, you have to. And early detection means early, you have a higher chance of survival cancer-free after 5 years. It's not guaranteed, but most women, that will be the case.
Wow.
And I just want to piggyback off of that.
Yes.
That was my case. I have no history of breast cancer in my family.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that was my case as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that surprising to you?
Very surprising. Very surprising. That's the reason why I didn't want to go in for my, mammogram. I'm like, I'm 32, nothing's going on with me, no history.
Wow.
But, thank goodness I had good doctors who was like, nope, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was my history.
Wow.
No history at all in my family.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's good that you caught this early on, and now you're still here to tell the story. Still here. How can people get involved with the Gloria Gemma Foundation? How can they get involved?
So we have events. We look for volunteers for some of those. In June, we have our Glory Days event, which is a 44-mile walk across 3 days that our amazing survivors, Caronah's husband does, walking 20 miles the first day. So we're always looking for support for those. You can get involved by, even if you can't come to the office, but you can help card pins or whatever it is that we're doing. We'd love to have people involved that way. Certainly, donations always help us keep those programs going. We're a nonprofit. We don't get government grants. Everything is through sponsorships from businesses and from events that our survivors or people who have benefited from programs will then do a small fundraiser. So that can also help. And be supportive. If you have family members or if you know someone, maybe someone you work with or your children's teacher who's diagnosed with breast cancer, I say the best thing you can do is tell them to contact Gloria Gemma Foundation, because right from the get-go, Mandy is extremely compassionate. She's a survivor herself, and anyone who has any interaction with her will tell you how wonderful she is. She can help guide people through what they need and through making decisions. So we have 5 survivors on staff.
Wow.
There are 7 of us, and 5 of them are cancer survivors.
Wow.
So there's somebody there who understands, and you can call and certainly talk to them, and they get it.
Wow.
So we're there, and I recently interviewed with someone at our Flames of Hope event, and what I said was, our goal as a foundation is to hopefully find the day when there is no cancer, no breast cancer, no cancer of any kind. But until then, Gloria Gemma Foundation is there to help you through it.
That's wonderful.
Correct.
That's wonderful. So, Caronah, I want you, if you don't mind, to look into that camera and encourage a viewer and tell them how important breast cancer awareness and how early detection matters.
Well, it's very important. Early detection is very, very important. I know it might be scary to go in to get yourself checked out, and you might be like me, like, no, nothing's wrong with me. I'm fine. I'm young. I'm healthy. But you never know. And having the uncertainty and not knowing, is definitely something that you definitely need to know and pay attention. So every single month, check yourselves. When you go into the shower, lift your hands up, check underneath your breast, see if you feel any type of lump. If you're not sure what it feels like, call your doctor. Have your doctor check you out. Let them tell you what the risk is, But But definitely, every single month, just check yourselves, ladies. We have to pay attention to ourselves, and we have to know our bodies. Pay attention.
Thank you so much, Caronah. Thank you so much, Maureen. And thank you to all who is turning in, watching this special edition of Reflections TV, where we are all about bringing awareness to great causes. And the Gloria Gemma Foundation will be around to help women and support them through this great cause. Tune in our next month as we bring to you more great TV program on Reflections TV, and you all have a wonderful, blessed day.